Well, good morning, guys, and welcome back to RVMax.us here in Greenville, South Carolina. And I'm working on this 2005 Monaco Executive. It's a beautiful, almost one-of-a-kind, high-quality Oregon-built coach with a Detroit Diesel Series 60 in the back, and it has been upgraded and remodeled on the inside pretty substantially. The problem I was finding, and I thought when I found it, I would share it with a lot of Monaco owners out there because they may not know that they have this feature in the bedroom. Now, when I say Monaco owners, I will also, of course, include Holiday Rambler owners and Beaver owners of probably coaches from about 2003 to about 2009, 2010, because Monaco did do something a little less conventional than the rest of the industry when we switched from 2 rooftop ACs to 3 or more rooftop ACs. Since most of these 2000s to 2010 Monaco motorhomes are probably on their 3rd, 4th, or 5th owner at this point, the owners of them may not be aware that Monaco did install a load shed device for the bedroom AC. And it's that load shed device that I wanted to show you guys. When I was doing the inspection for the potential new owner on this 2005 Monaco Executive, I noted that the bedroom AC was not operating, because I do try to operate each AC separately so I don't get confused about which one is actually operating. The front 2 ACs, there's one right here and then one in the front right here, were operating perfectly. And if you guys saw on the roof, they're actually new AC units, so they aren't the original ones that came with the motorhome, including the bedroom one. Now the bedroom one, Monaco did a very strange thing with it, because it has a washer and dryer, and this was pretty early on really maximizing the 50 amp shore core power. They split power, where they actually used the bedroom AC and the washer and dryer on the exact same circuit. For whatever reason, they decided that one circuit needed to run 2 appliances, and of course it's only a 20 amp circuit, so it can't run both at the same time. And of course, yes, this has been upgraded to a residential washer dryer combo from LG. But if we look right here, we have, it says washer and dryer rear AC, and this is a 20 amp breaker. Now for me, just because of my, I guess, experience, I suspected we had a power issue because the rear AC would not turn on, the fan wouldn't run, and the thermostat wasn't responding correctly. Which actually says a lot, because they upgraded the entire thermostat system from the climate control system to a Silverleaf system. So what would be the HVAC button right there, and I go to bedroom and I turn on cool and I set the temperature that I want it to be. I get a wait light. Now, because I'm fairly familiar with these systems, the wait light never changed from wait to actually running. If it was running, the fan would turn on, that little snowflake would turn blue. Which if I went to, let's say, the living room and I go to cool and I set the temperature I want it to be, we get a wait. All right, so the fan's running, the wait light turned off, and the snowflake did turn blue. And of course the front AC is now running. Nice and cold. Now I know that's pretty interesting and pretty unique to have a Silverleaf system in there, and most people that have these Monacos do not have a Silverleaf system to have the built-in diagnostics like that. Most everybody with the ones I'm talking about will have a climate control 2 system with the little 5 buttons on there, and it will have zone control. And on that situation, if the zone control has a little dash underneath the zone that you selected, it should be saying that it's calling for the system to operate. But if I go back to here, look, we're still waiting. It still hasn't operated yet. So rather than going up on the roof to pull the shroud off to check for power up there, because I already knew about the load shed device, I decided to go straight to the load shed device. And this is probably the part of the video that only the Monaco owners are really going to care about, because Monaco did not have a rhyme or reason for where they put that load shed device. Obviously, I had a good idea where it's going to be. Often they put it underneath the washer and dryer, and they don't give you access right there. You have to pull the whole thing out to pull the floor off. I've seen it where you have to pull a closet floor off right here to get access to it. In this situation, I was lucky and I was able to just pull the washer and dryer forward, and I found the load shed device located right here. Now this is from Intelitech. This is not a very commonly used load shed device. They call it an automatic energy select switch. Basically, so it has a circuit that does come in and will have a primary load that it will go to. In this situation, it was set up for the washer and dryer to be the primary load, and then the secondary load is going to be the rear AC. Now, it's a fairly simple device right there. You can see the relay on top. Otherwise, pretty easy logic board. And right down here, it's hard to see, but this isn't a P clamp. It's like an amp clamp, so it can check current running. And if you have a Monaco, Beaver, Holiday Rambler with this type of setup, if you've noticed and you run the washer and dryer, all of a sudden your bedroom AC just stops running. That's the reason why. It sees the current draw on the washer and dryer and turns off the secondary load, which would be the roof AC. Until that load stops, it doesn't restore power back to the bedroom AC. I mean, it was a workaround that not too many people even knew was installed, and I don't know, it seemed like a incredibly complicated system to me. Especially as on this 2005 Executive, the 120 volt breakers are right above the washer and dryer. So rather than splitting that one circuit to operate two different pretty big heavy load appliances, they could have just added another circuit right here, dedicated, one for the washer and dryer, one for the roof AC. And if the owner overloaded their shore power and tripped the breaker outside, that would be on them. Trying to run two appliances off of one 20 amp circuit, I just don't understand the logic of that. But that is what Monaco did, and I did want to show you guys how the system operated, because I am starting to see these fail quite often now, because it is a pretty straightforward relay with contacts in the back right there that do burn out pretty easily, because those roof ACs will pull about 20 amps in the summer heat. So thankfully, the guys over here at rvmax.us were kind enough to let me borrow a couple tools to do some quick troubleshooting. I was able to pull the washer and dryer back out of the way just so I could get access to this. And we can see that the breaker coming in is going to be on the top right there. I do have power connected. That is, the breaker is on. And we get the multimeter set up right here on AC voltage. We'll just go ahead and probe this real fast. Neutral to line power coming in. We have 121.8. The primary coming out, we have 121.8. And then the secondary coming out, right there, we have no power coming out of it. This load shed has failed because we are not in a load shed condition, because the washer and dryer is not running. And so obviously we have a bad load shed device. Now, it's hard to see on the wiring schematic right here from Intelitech, but basically all three neutrals are just going to be on a bus bar together. They're not really switched. So to test this out, I can just go ahead and trip the breaker right there, make sure that I don't have any power and I'm not going to electrocute myself. So no power coming in. Now I can just go ahead and go to the secondary terminal block right there, loosen it up, and just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the primary terminal block right here. And now I should be able to move the secondary line power lead to the primary line power lead, and we'll just have a wire nut connection right there, using the terminal block itself as the connection point. And since the primary doesn't get load shed, hopefully as soon as I turn on the breaker back here, we can now see that we have 120 volt power going to the secondary source, which is going to be the bedroom AC. The fan just turned on. If I come back over here to the Silverleaf display, we're still showing weight and we don't have a blue snowflake yet. We'll give it a second. So it does have a built-in, blue snowflake. Weight light went off. And now we are making cold air. And that's all well and good that I didn't have to climb up on the roof, take the AC apart just to check for power, to trace it right all the way back down here to the closet and check for power there. Because if you didn't know that there was a load shed device between the breaker right there and the roof AC above, you could start doing a lot of exploratory damage trying to find out where that 120 volt lost its power, especially because often, like I said, Monaco did hide this box and you didn't know about it. If you didn't have the wiring schematic, or you didn't have the, I guess, institutional knowledge to know about it, you would still not know where to look. So hopefully now you guys know about that. Like I said, that's all well and good, but now we have to make a decision what to do. Do you order a new replacement like this? Because I personally don't think added complexity is ever the best solution when it comes to somebody's motorhome or RV. And while I have just gone ahead and ripped out the guts of these load shed devices before and just wiring nutted everything together, that does give the exact possibility of overloading the circuit now, because we do have a washer and dryer and roof AC on the same circuit. You would start getting a nuanced tripping of that breaker right there, because just the roof AC is going to be pulling about 20 amps. Now, of course, the customers that have asked me just to do that understand that they're responsible for making sure they don't overload the circuit, which even myself in my kitchen, when we have a toaster, an air fryer, and maybe a microwave going, we trip the breaker because we overloaded the circuit, and that's the whole purpose of it. Probably still not the most elegant solution, but it is a solution. So you can either replace that load shed device, bypass the load shed device, or probably the best solution from my point of view, especially because the 120 volt breaker box is right here, would be to just go ahead and run a dedicated circuit from a new breaker there and connect it into the existing wiring right there, strictly for the roof AC. That would be my solution. That's not always going to be the best solution for everybody, because often the breaker box is going to be on above the window right here, or in newer Monaco products, the breaker box was relocated above the driver's seat over there. So that would not be a great solution. I will go ahead and give the new owner of this 2005 Executive the options that I just gave you guys and see what they want to do. But I just wanted to share this video with you guys so that you knew if you had a Monaco product, be it a Holiday Rambler, Beaver, or possibly a Safari, you might have a hidden load shed device in the back closet that you weren't even aware of. Otherwise, I do want to give a big thank you to the entire crew at RVMax.us in Greenville, South Carolina right here for giving me the opportunity to share this 2005 Monaco Executive, which has been substantially updated and upgraded and still is a beautiful reflection of the organ-built quality that I love so much. Yeah, they did a really fantastic update to this, including carpet, and look at all that brand new furniture. Gorgeous. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope that helped out somebody. Bye. To say they don't make them like they used to would be a gross understatement. It's getting harder and harder to find a quality pre-def diesel pusher organ-built coach. And this is definitely a quality one. And I thought I'd make a quick video for... And since most of these 2000 Monaco products are probably on their third, fourth, or fifth owner, so this should not be in a load shed. Thank you for having a drain pan underneath the washer and dryer. Don't have to go fishing that out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. You have